We begin tonight with breaking news. A man in critical condition after being shot multiple times. This happened on North Colorado Street between Ruiz and Leal Streets, just west of I-10. The night team's Avery Everett joining us live now from that scene. So Avery, what do we know so far about this shooting?
Well, Myra, police have cleared out really in the last 2 hours, but the search is still happening here along the train tracks. And that's because 3 to 4 possible suspects were seen running in that direction from where the shooting all happened. But the search is still happening, even though there are less vehicles within the last 2 hours, as some of those have been moving out. So officers are looking over what appear to be shell casings on North Colorado Street. Now, we know a man in his early 20s was shot multiple times. He's since been taken to the hospital in critical condition. We were told he was shot in the legs, neck, and body. When police first arrived before 9 p.m., there was no description of suspects and also no witnesses, but police later learned nearby people heard shots and saw about 3 to 4 people leaving this location on the train tracks. So like I said, that's why the search is happening here. And just 10 minutes ago, or really in the last 30 minutes, we could hear the SAPD helicopter looking for those suspects. So at this time, no weapons have been recovered and no suspect identities have been given out at this point, or really any suspect descriptions. Now, SAPD is saying for this community, for the people here on the west side, there is no current threat to the community. But that man's still fighting for his life in the hospital. Myra, reporting live.
Avery on the west side for us tonight. Avery, thank you for that update. We also have new details this evening on a deadly shooting at the Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino near Eagle Pass. 2 people were killed and 5 others injured. The night team's John Paul Barajas is live outside of that casino tonight. John Paul, you sat down with the Maverick County Sheriff this afternoon. So what did he share with you about this investigation?
Myra, that's right. The Maverick County Sheriff Tom Schmerber told me that the suspect, 34-year-old Kerrigan Jones, was inside the casino on Saturday night, and at some point he left, went to his car, then came back and started shooting near the entrances of the casino. As for if that was targeted or a motive or why, that is still unclear. However, we are also learning more about one of the 2 people that was killed that night, a retired U.S. Customs and Border Protection agent, Mark Antley.
I kept calling his name and yelling for help. Help, help, baby.
It was calls for help drowned out by chaos. Mark Antley died outside Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino, according to his wife, Margarita. They were leaving when shots rang out just before midnight Saturday into Sunday, killing 2 and injuring 5 others, including Margarita.
It's about 12 stitches, and then the one where the bullet went in. It went in through here, came out over here.
She told me her physical injuries will heal, but replacing Mark is impossible. They were married and inseparable for 47 years, with plans for celebrating their 50th anniversary.
He was a very generous, humble person.
And well respected, serving more than 20 years as a Customs and Border Protection agent. Messages of support are now pouring in.
Marcus was an amazing man. I had the honor of working with him.
Margarita is heartbroken and trying to make sense of a senseless act.
I heard he died instantly, so that kind of gives me like, well, he didn't suffer. He was happy. We were walking out of there happy, laughing.
That's a silver lining that no one should have to find. I'm very sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Her main question to the suspect, why? It's the same thing the Maverick County Sheriff wants to know.
So we don't know if this was a targeted incident or if this was just him upset because a bad gambling night. We don't have any motive or any indication of a motive.
Nothing like that. I'm pretty sure that the officers from the Kickapoo Casino might have something because they worked there.
We are still waiting to hear back from multiple agencies involved in this case, including the Kickapoo Tribal Police and DPS. They've also repeatedly asked for warrants in this case to get more details as to what led up to this and what happened while it was unfolding. As for the suspect, he has bonds totaling up to $4.5 million for his 2 charges of capital murder and his 5 charges for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Myra?
John Paul live in Eagle Pass for us tonight. John Paul, thank you. We know the suspect in this case, Kerrigan Jones, lived here in San Antonio. The night team's Avery Everett went by his apartment complex on the north side to talk to some of the neighbors. Some told her that they were shocked that someone that lived so close to them could be accused in a crime like this.
I know exactly who that is.
When Isabella Markert and Brandy Bybee saw this mugshot, they say they recognized this man immediately.
I don't specifically know him. I've seen him walk around, very angry looking guy.
This is 34-year-old Carrion Jones. He was arrested Sunday on 2 counts of capital murder and 5 counts of assault with a deadly weapon in connection to the shooting at the Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino. But he wasn't from the Eagle Pass area. People who live at this apartment complex on Patricia Drive near West Avenue and Blanco Road say he was a resident here.
Multiple neighbors here at the Tuscany Park Apartments tell us there was a raid on Sunday. They say it was loud, and they say it lasted for hours.
I just got back and I was upstairs and they announced it on like a megaphone thing. And they were like, it's the FBI, we have a warrant. They were here for a while, a lot of cars.
The roommates got this photo before they took cover.
I hid in the bathroom for like 2 hours, pretty much. When I heard it, I was panicked. Like, I was crying, I was screaming, like I couldn't handle it.
They say it was the FBI and other agencies searching Jones's apartment. Now we know Jones was caught hours after the shooting on Sunday in Wilson County. He was then extradited to Maverick County. Jones is currently in Maverick County custody, as neighbors back here in the city say they're shaken about what's happened.
That was our Avery Everett reporting. Public data shows that Jones recently lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Neighbors there tell us they still sometimes get his mail, but they confirmed he moved away about a year ago. Now, we have asked for arrest warrants in this case for Jones, which would detail evidence investigators have to charge him with capital murder. KSAT Investigates made that request through multiple Maverick County agencies, as well as the Kickapoo Tribal Police Department, the Texas Department of Public Safety, and the Wilson County Sheriff, as well as the FBI. So far, most of those agencies point KSAT to the other to obtain the records. We'll continue working to get that information and share it with you. Other news that we are following here tonight, a federal judge today threw out a wrongful death lawsuit filed by the family of a woman shot and killed by police officers while she was experiencing a mental health crisis. This comes just over a week before the 3 officers named in that suit are set to go to trial in connection to Melissa Perez's 2023 death. Perez was going through a mental health crisis that June when officers fired into her apartment. She later died from her injuries. Former officers Eleazar Alejandro, Alfred Flores, they're both charged with murder. Former officer Nathaniel Villalobos is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The judge's ruling comes months after a separate federal judge recommended that the claims be thrown out. New information tonight about the congressional staffer for U.S. Representative Tony Gonzalez, who died roughly 2 weeks ago. According to the Uvalde Leader News, Uvalde police officers told firefighters that Regina Santos Aviles had, quote, doused herself in gasoline and was ignited into flames. That piece of information was cited from a Uvalde Volunteer Fire Department report that the local newspaper mentioned in their latest online article. That article also stated that firefighters extinguished a burning gas can in the backyard. Last week, Uvalde police told us that Santos Aviles was alone in her backyard when she caught fire and said they did not believe anyone else was involved in her death. This happened the night of September 13th outside Santos Aviles' home in Uvalde. She died from her injuries early the following morning. All right, let's get a first check of the forecast with Adam Caskey. And how are those mornings shaping up? We've had some pleasant ones.
Yeah, we were down in the lower 60s over the weekend for sunrise temperatures. It's going to be upper 60s going forward and pretty much just copy paste weather for the most part. I do want to point out we had a little bit of rain earlier today, this afternoon, off to the west. And I mean a little bit, a few hundredths of an inch, Bracketville to Del Rio, Quemado, all the way up to Camp Wood in Rock Springs. So we actually had some pretty good upper level energy, which gave us our clouds. But unfortunately, we didn't have all the other ingredients to help turn those clouds into showers or thunderstorms or any kind of rain that we would need. This upper level system that gave us the clouds today and kept our high temperature at 87, which is exactly average for this time of year. That's moving out of here. Upper level high is going to be replacing it and moving into its place. That upper high will be taking over. We have 2 systems out in the Atlantic that we're watching. I'll show you where they're going to go in just a bit.
All right, Adam, thank you. A San Antonio police officer is trying to be reinstated to the police force after being placed on indefinite suspension. An arbitration hearing began this morning for Officer Raul Rodriguez. According to the city, Rodriguez was placed on indefinite suspension by Police Chief William McManus following an internal affairs investigation. City officials say that investigation looked into 8 documented allegations, such as speeding, failing to write crash reports, and not following body cam protocols. It's the city's stance that McManus's decision was an appropriate course of action.
We're going to see a pattern of an officer not doing his job. It's not going to be some big event, but it is going to be a consistent display of neglect of duties throughout at least a 2-month period.
Rodriguez is disputing the suspension as the arbitration hearing continues tomorrow. Chief McManus is expected to testify. Bexar County currently has over 50,000 backlogged voter registration applications, and now a possible solution to get caught up in time for the upcoming election. Still ahead, the latest plan from the elections office. Plus, 4 Bexar County school districts risk having the state step in to help get their ratings up. Coming up, what the Texas Education Agency is having them do to try to improve things. Four San Antonio area school districts are at risk of having the Texas Education Agency step in to run things. That's because they've struggled with poor state ratings. If a school has struggled for 2 years, they're required to submit turnaround plans. If they struggle for 3 years, they have to put that plan into action. Edgewood ISD, Northside, SAISD, and Judson are among the districts with schools the state might step in to help. Other districts like East Central and Harlandale have to make plans but don't have to implement them yet. The state could appoint a conservator if low ratings continue. That conservator could direct the action of the school board or the superintendent, but that decision comes later this year.
Now, a conservator is going to be a black mark, of course. If you have somebody come in, it's for a reason.
Districts say they are working on improvements and keeping parents informed. The deadline to submit new plans is November 14th, with the goal to avoid a full state takeover. Just over a month away from the November elections, and today Bexar County officials said they've come up with a solution to fix the backlog of more than 50,000 voter registration applications. First, the county is working closely with the Secretary of State and its system. Second, 8 additional temporary staff have been hired to help manually input voter registration cards. The elections office started that work today. Earlier this month, the system the county used shut down, and a contract with a new third-party company wasn't going to be ready in time. In the meantime, they're using a system run by the Secretary of State's office.
In simple terms, if you apply on time and you are eligible, your application will be processed and you will be able to vote in the November election.
You can scan the QR code that we're going to show you here on the screen to find out more about the upcoming elections and to find out if you are registered. The Bexar County Elections Office expects to have 75 to 80% of that backlog taken care of by the end of this week. The deadline to register to vote is next Monday, October 6th. And on the ballot this November are 2 propositions related to a new Spurs arena. So what questions do you have? Scan that QR code to let us know and we'll get you answers. The new Spurs arena is a big part of Project Marvel. That's that proposed sports and entertainment district in downtown San Antonio. The June 12th flood washed out her fence and her retirement fund. This is the damage left behind at Karen Holmes and her mother's home in Live Oak. Inches of water flowed right onto their property. Holmes says because they don't live in a floodplain and they didn't have flood insurance. That means flood insurance would not help cover the repair costs. Her mother paid Sanders Fence Company out of pocket to fix the fence.
How much money did your mom have to pull out of her 401k to pay for everything?
All of it. There's no more.
It was about $11,000. As Karen tells KSAT investigates Daniela Ibarra, her family is now suing the company. Family members say failed to finish that job. Tomorrow night on the Nightbeat, we'll show you the work that was done and the contractor's history with the law. All right, look outside with live cam tonight. We're, like I said earlier, Adam, baby stepping our way to fall, but it feels all in all pretty good out there.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, we got rid of the tropical air. That's the key. So we don't have that extreme thick humidity, right? And no Fiesta hair as a result, of course, Myra. Which, okay, that's fine. It's easier for you, right? All right, so looking at our rainfall potential in the days going forward, just not looking good. Not just here in South Central Texas, but all across the state. It's looking pretty bleak. The action is going to be the southeastern U.S. and then even parts of the Pacific Northwest. Not a whole lot anywhere near Texas. The reason is upper level high, big blue H. We're all familiar with it, especially in the summertime. This is going to be the dominant factor. It's going to be right overhead, and that's going to be blocking any rain-making disturbances out of here. They'll be there. Western U.S., nice trough later this week, and even southeastern U.S., another one, but they can't work their way in because this high just blocks them. Like this low here over the Gulf Coast, farther east of us, it wanted to, what we call retrograde, move westward, but upper level high says not so fast, unfortunately. So we're just going to continue to fall deeper into the drought that we're already in. Not everybody's in drought, but a good chunk of our area is. Hurricane Umberto, Category 3, just downgraded a smidge just over the last update here 30 minutes ago from the National Hurricane Center. And then we have Tropical Storm Imelda, both systems out in the Atlantic. Now, hurricanes don't form together. They can't do that. It's called the Fujiwara effect, where they would actually, one would just kind of spin around the other one. So they can't combine out there or anything. And part of that Fujiwara effect is going to influence their storm motion and where they're going to go. It looks like Umberto is going to head just arc up and around Bermuda. Bermuda right here on the right-hand side of your screen. And then Imelda right on its heels going due east. Now remember, before this storm actually formed and we could get measurements from it, there were concerns that it could go into the Carolinas or even Georgia. But now this is going to stay out to sea and then kind of follow Umberto's footprints and head off into the North Atlantic, up and out of our area. And there's a look at the spaghetti plot showing the same thing. Of course, you always have your little straggler model runs. Like, look at this one. Shows Umberto going into Miami. Yeah, and no, that's not going to be happening. That's going to be heading off to the east. But look at the wave heights out there. From Florida to Bermuda, we're talking 15 to 32 foot waves because of that system. If we get another one, it would be Jerry, but there's nothing else, not even a tropical wave out there in the Atlantic to be monitoring yet. 87 our high today. That's exactly average. Oh, it was 64 this morning. Another nice morning. 80 right now. The dew point is 53. That's the key. It's pleasant. Like Myra was talking about, it feels fine outside because we don't have that thick humidity. Dewies right now in the 50s. They'll rise a little bit overnight, but we'll drop them again every afternoon. Not just tomorrow afternoon, but every afternoon. Tomorrow morning, mid-60s locally, near 60 in the hill country. I think downtown about 68, then 86 at noon, 93 for the high temperature. Wall-to-wall sunshine tomorrow. 95 Cotulla, Pleasanton, 90 Kerrville, Fredericksburg, 88 degrees. And Myra, we're not going to see big temperature changes or any big changes going forward. And with a very naked extended forecast, I felt like I had to put something on there. So, hey, Wednesday, it's October 1st, everybody. Friendly reminder. I know it's not a holiday, but I had to put it on there.
It's something. All right. Thank you, Adam. Okay, Larry, from Cowboy Keldon to Wemby, it was an eventful Spurs media day.
Yeah, we all enjoyed seeing Keldon Johnson out there with his cowboy hat on. Keldon just loves to have a good time, right? Hey, coming up, Wemby likes some of the Spurs' new additions, including the two bigs they picked up in the offseason. And the Cowboys and Packers played last night. They didn't have a winner, and they didn't have a loser. Coming up. The Spurs held media day this morning as they get ready for the brand new NBA season. The guys were all there posing for the cameras before holding practice tomorrow. Big man Victor Wembanyama is good to go as he returns from a blood clot in his right shoulder that ended last season early for Vic. Today he talked about many things, including the additions of 7'1" center Luke Cornett and 6'11" forward center Kelly Olynyk.
Veterans, they know the league really well, and it's, they will have an important role for us for sure. I haven't gotten to play with Kelly yet, but Luke has been great here in the gym. Playing with and against him has been really interesting, and I know for sure both of them are gonna help us really much.
Does it give you a little bit of maybe optimism that you guys can keep up the rim defense even when you're off the floor now that you've got Cornette here?
Oh yeah, I mean, with Luke, it's not even optimism, it's necessity. It's our combination of both of us, but also whether he's on the court or not, or I'm on the court or not, we will need to have some of the best rim protection in the league, for sure, the best.
Guard De'Aaron Fox is dealing with a right hamstring injury that will cost him the preseason schedule, most likely the regular season opener in 3 weeks at Dallas. Fox says he's looking forward to playing pick and roll with Wemby.
I mean, I think it's huge. I mean, for all of us, and I think we have a lot of guys who are going to run pick and rolls with Vic. So, you know, being one of those tandems, you know, you want those 3 tandems to be the top 3 tandems in the league if you can. But with that comes, you know, you have to be able to develop that chemistry, because if y'all don't know what each other wants to do, you know, it's hard to run a pick and roll. And obviously when you're running a pick and roll, it's not just those 2 guys. The other 3 guys on the court are also involved. So just trying to continue to build that, and you want to be one of the best in the league. I mean, we all know it's an ISO heavy league, and it's a pick and roll heavy league. So if you can be one of the best pick and roll teams in the league, you see yourself as one of the top offenses in the league as well.
Tomorrow night at 7, streaming on KSAT Sports Now, we'll hear from Cowboy Keldon Johnson. It's week 6, and our game of the week this Friday night will see the Southwest Dragons at the Southside Cardinals in a District 14 5A1 contest. All right, folks, it's time now for the best of BGC from last week. Best Fans goes to the Seguin student section. The Matadors hosting Bernie Champion for homecoming. Incredible energy from the crowd. However, Seguin fell short 57-50 in a high-scoring game. Best Run, John Jay hosts an EP win. Jay's sophomore running back, Brennan Oliver, runs right up the middle, evading a bunch of would-be tacklers, and he makes the house call for one of his 2 touchdowns. Jay won 44-13, improving to 4-1. Best hit, District foes, Stockdale and YMLA going head-to-head. Lions ball number 11 from Stockdale. Copeland Hall lights up the back, causing a fumble, and Hall recovers the ball, and Stockdale followed that up with a touchdown. The Lions won in shutout fashion, 51-0. Best play, Dilly versus Natalia. Dilly trying to take a late lead, and this run looks promising. Dilly's running back breaks loose, but hang on. Natalia's free safety won. Gonzalez chases him down and punches the ball out at the goal line to save the game. Incredible as Natalia stays on top, 25-20. All right, best game was our game of the week. Bernie facing Alamo Heights before halftime. 3 seconds left. QB Grant Sweeney throws up a Hail Mary to the end zone, and it is answered. Eli Nicholas, 40 yards, and the Greyhounds going to halftime up 28-21. And Bernie was victorious in this one, 37-35. All right, Dak Prescott does not play for ties after the break.
You don't play the game for ties. I've told y'all before, I don't care about the stats. I don't care about the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows. I just care about the end result and the win. And so when you don't get that, right now it's tough for me, guess 10 years in, the first tie I've been a part of, it's hard to kind of wrap my head around it, because I know I'd feel a hell of a lot worse if it was a loss.
Dak plays to win, but last night the Cowboys and Packers went to overtime and finished their game tied at 40-all. It's the Cowboys' first tie game since 1969.
It's definitely one that I will remember, and I think I'll remember it because I'm so proud of our guys' fight, but golly, I wanted them to get that win. Our guys just battled for 70 minutes and the ebbs and flows, and so I told them how proud I was of them.
The Cowboys will look to beat the Jets next, not tie them.
Yeah, with a definitive W.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you, Larry. We'll be right back. That is all our time here on the Night Beat. Thanks for staying up late with us after Monday Night Football. We appreciate it. Good morning, San Antonio. It starts at 5.
Hey, Mom and Dad in town from Minnesota now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome, Gaskies. Have a good night.